Welcome to The Effective Lawyer, a podcast for ambitious attorneys who want to improve their practice. My name is Jack Zinda, and I'll be your host. Today, I want to talk to you about deposition preparation essentials. I want to give you some quick tips and some things to think about when you're preparing your client for their next deposition. The first thing you need to know is that preparing your client for the deposition is one of the 2 or 3 most important parts of a case before trial. How your client does in their deposition is going to make or break how the defense evaluates your case. So I cannot overemphasize enough, you cannot put too much time in preparing your client for a deposition. And that includes your thought and process into what you're going to do to prepare your client for that. So the first step that I think you need to do is, number 1, you need to understand what the defendant's case is and what are their best arguments. This means sitting down by yourself and thinking, whiteboarding, what is the defense going to go at? Is this a liability fight? Is this a damages fight? Is it a client credibility fight? And your client is always being evaluated. So step 1 is your own homework. What's the defense's cases? Step 2, you need to make sure the client understands what the setting's going to be like. That means you need to schedule not 1, but at least 2 deposition preparation sessions. Okay? That does not include you explaining what the process is. So our steps are typically 1, we will send the client a letter, explain the deposition process. We will have a short meeting where we explain what a deposition is and when it's going to occur. Then we will have an in-person or Zoom meeting where we're actually going to explain it in person, go into more detail, and talk through questions and do some mock questioning. And then we're going to have a follow-up deposition preparation session. And we may even do more than that depending on the client. So that's number 2. You need to make sure the client understands what it's going to be like. Number 3 is when you're doing those things, you want to make sure you do not overload the client with too much information. And you don't want to make it a memorization contest. That's critical. Number 4, you got to make sure that they know to tell the truth. We tell the clients that we can fix anything other than a lie. And a lie could be a lie of omission or commission. So you want to make sure your clients know, I've got to tell the truth no matter what. And I've yet to have a case personally that I wasn't able to fix as long as the client was honest and was truthful. Next, when you conduct your mock deposition, you want to set it up in a way to how the client is going to physically be set up. Have them dress the way they're going to dress. Have them sit where they're going to sit. Have someone pretend to be a court reporter. Have someone pretend to be a videographer. You need them to go into the setting they're going to be in. And then I would advise you to have someone in your staff or another lawyer to do a mock deposition with you being on your client's team. I think that's important because they may have grown comfortable with you and you need them to be comfortable with hearing the questions from a stranger. Next, this is important. Keep the energy positive. I don't care how bad your client is doing their deposition. Do not, under any circumstances, turn it into negative energy. They're already stressed. They're probably doing bad because they are stressed out and they can't remember what day of the week it is. You getting upset with them does not help at all. It makes things 10 times worse. And the final piece of it is make sure your client feels at ease and that you're there to support them. And like I said, you can't put too much time into this part of the case. And I think if you put the time and energy into preparing your client for the deposition the right way, you'll get the best results. And I could go on this topic for days or hours. There's books or seminars. There's whole CLEs on the topic. But I wanted to give you some of my quick tips and quick hits so you knew kind of some guideposts to how to prepare your client for a deposition.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of The Effective Lawyer. You can learn more about our team and find other episodes of our podcast at zindalaw.com. As always, we'd appreciate that you subscribe, rate, and review the pod. Thanks.